Hello, you're here with Kevin and Brandon, author and musician. Today I'm going to talk about my novel Coming from a Tainted Beauty. Coming from a Tainted Beauty is set in the 90s based off of the controversial fashion trend heroin chic. It follows the journals of three models, a photographer, and a rock musician, making it an epistolary novel, which is a novel that is based in journals. Now, the reason why I wrote this book is not only because I'm an ex-heroin addict myself, but also too, I'm a huge fanatic of 90s culture, meaning I religiously listen to 90s music and watch 90s movies to this day. And heroin chic was not just in the fashion industry, it was also in the music and movie industry, with artists such as Nirvana, Alice in Chains, and Stone Temple Pilots, as well as movies such as Basketball Diaries, Trainspotting, and Pulp Fiction, just to name a few. Now, when I wrote this novel, I wasn't sure if I was going to even complete the novel and publish it on Amazon even. I thought that it would be one of those projects I started and just didn't finish, which is what I did with a lot of novels in the past. Now, this novel emphasizes on addiction and the progression of addiction, as well as not being able to live up to standards of perfection, which is what the fashion industry is known for, people having unrealistic standards. And heroin chic was a trend that was like anti-standards, so to speak, because it was a trend that models would look pale and sometimes have rings around their eyes, and even giving off a androgynous vibe, so to speak. And my novel, basically, it is based off of my experiences with heroin, my own personal experiences, and it shows that not just burnouts or whatever become hooked. Anyone could become hooked, especially glamour models. So in other words, what I'm saying is no one is exempted from addiction, and I think my novel Coming from a Tainted Beauty describes that very well, and displays it too. And what are my thoughts on the novel, so to speak? I think that people will understand addiction better once they read it, because addiction is still something that people stigmatize even to this day. Despite people being more accepting and more understanding of other struggles, there's still a lot of prejudice that surrounds addiction, and I've experienced it as well. And my hope with this novel is that some people will become more open-minded about it and not be so judgmental and realize it can happen to anybody. And I think heroin chic was a good example of how anyone could become hooked, because before the 90s, I don't think anyone would have thought that glamour models could become hooked on heroin. And my novel not only, as I said, describes addiction, but also trying to live up to unrealistic expectations. And we as humans have unrealistic expectations at times as well. And as I said, my novel's available on Amazon and Amazon Kindle Unlimited. And if you want, you can read it for free if you're registered with Kindle. And once again, Kevin and Brandon here, author of Coming from a Tainted Beauty, and you can view my other three novels that are available on Kindle as well. And take care.